Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and sending the salutations upon the Messenger alayhi salatu wassalam, and upon his family and his companions, and upon all those who follow upon his guidance into the establishment of the last day. To proceed, ikhwan, فَاللَّهُمَّ إِنَّا نَعُوذُ بِكَ مِنْ عِلْمٍ لَا يَنْفَعُ وَمِنْ قَلْبٍ لَا يَخْشَعُ وَمِنْ نَفْسٍ لَا تَشْبَعُ وَمِنْ دُعَاءٍ لَا يُسْمَعُ. Verily, Allah, we seek refuge with you from knowledge that has no benefit, and from a heart that has no fear, and from a soul that has no satisfaction, no contentment, and from a dua that goes unanswered, and from a dua that goes unanswered. To proceed, ikhwan, فنواصل معكم في هذه الليلة المباركة الكريمة عونا من الرحمن الرحيم. So we continue in this blessed and noble night of ours, seeking the aid and the assistance of our Lord, the most merciful and the most compassionate. مستفيدين متعلمين من اللغة العربية, as we continue to learn and educate ourselves collectively together from the science of the Arabic language. طيب. قال التدريب الأول. So he says, exercise number 1. المدرس إياك نعبدك. طيب. So I'll say it, you say it يا إخوان. طيب. فالمراد هنا إياك نعبدك. So we're going to add سنضيف شيئا إلى هذا. So we're going to add وعليك السلام ورحمة الله. We're going to add something ماذا to the exercise here. He says إياك نعبد, and then he says نعبدك. So now the meaning of إياك نعبد, who remembers يا إخوان? The meaning of إياك نعبد, who remembers? نعم. نعبدك مرة أخرى. نعم, one more time. أي وحدك. So this, أي نعم. إذا نتكلم, ما شاء الله, may Allah bless you both. إذا نتكلم إلى الله, if we're talking to Allah, then it means Ya Allah. So here, نتكلم إلى الله, we're speaking to Allah. نعبدك أو إياك نعبد means نعبدك وحدك يا Allah. So if you're talking to Allah, نضيف يا Allah, we're going to add O Allah. If we're not talking to Allah, then you don't have to add O Allah. So it depends on Asamir. It depends on who you're addressing. Here, نتكلم إلى الله, we're talking to Allah. So it's going to be, we worship you alone, O Allah. فنضيف وحدك يا Allah. So we added the meaning, وحدك يا Allah. فإذا نتكلم إلى الله نضيف يا Allah. If we're talking to Allah, we're going to add O Allah. So this is the drill يا إخوان. طيب. إياك نعبدك وحدك. طيب. تفضلي يا أم سكينة, اقرأي. The second one. إياك نستعين بك, and you're going to add the rest. ها رقم صحيفة 24. MashaAllah, ahsanti. So number 2 would be Iyaka nasta'inu means Iyaka nasta'inu. It's going to be nasta'inu bika wahdaka. If we're talking to Allah, Ya Allah. It's going to be nasta'inu bika wahdaka. No. We're talking to Allah, Ya Allah. You alone, we seek help. Alone, oh Allah. No. Alhamdulillah. Number 2. Or الثالثة, number 3. And this should be a scene, ya ikhwan. No. It should be nasta'inu bika wahdaka. And this should be na'buduka wahdaka. Not wahduka. Wahdaka. This should be a fatha. Ya Allahu. We seek your aid alone, O Allah. سؤال. Does this mean هل هذا يدل على طلب استعانة من غير الله لا يجوز? Does this mean that it's not allowed to ask other than Allah for help? Does this mean that?
It depends on what kind of help you're asking for others, but if we're going by this sentence, it is specifically for Allah, nobody else.
So religiously, is it allowed to ask for help from other than Allah? Our brother said there's no sound once again. I don't know why the sound keeps going away. It starts off with sound and then it just keeps disappearing. 1 second, ya ikhwan. Our sister, she says here, it shows that help is only sought from Allah. Religiously, is it only allowed to get help or to ask for help from Allah? Is that only? Is that the case? That's my question. What's the condition? MashaAllah, ahsant. If it's something that's not specific for Allah, or if it's something that is specific for Allah, then it's not allowed to ask other than Allah for that. If it's something that is not specific for Allah, then it is allowed. It is allowed to ask other than Allah for help. إذا يستطيع أن يقضيه أو أن يقدمه فهذا يجوز. If it's allowed, or if they have the ability to do it, then it's allowed. If they have the ability to do it, then it's allowed. طيب, so what's the point of the verse here? What's the point? MashaAllah. Ahsant, ikhwan. This is talking about only those things that are exclusive and particular, specific for Allah. This is the point. غير الله يجوز أن يطلب العبد من غير الله مساعدة بالشرط. It is allowed to ask other than Allah for help. That's allowed with one condition. It has to be something that they are allowed, or they have the ability to do. If they have the ability to do it, then it's allowed. هذا مفهوم يا إخوان. Everyone understands that? جميلا. طيب تفضل يا أبا زبير. الثالثة, number 3. إياك نهديك Fill in the blank.
وحدك يا الله.
جميلا جميلا. إياك نهديك وحدك. جميلا. طيب الرابعة number 4 شيخ نكيه تفضل. إياك نسألك blank. طيب لا بأس لا بأس. طيب لا بأس. نعم, we're on page number 24. 24 at the middle of the page. Can you see the screen, Sheikh? Someone on the YouTube, check now for the sound. Can you see the screen? الشاشة موجودة يا شيخ? You can see the screen? طيب. إياك نسأل. You alone we ask. So you're going to add the rest of the meaning to the sentence. نسألك blank. شكرا Sheikh Shuaib. So إياك نسأل. You alone we ask. If you're talking to Allah, you're going to add something else. So إياك نسأل. إياك نسأل. So you're going to add meaning نسألك وحدك. We ask you and you only. نسألك وحدك. أين الحصر? Where is the restriction يا إخوان? Our brother says نسألك. لا بأس لا بأس. أين الحصر? Where is the restriction يا إخوان? إياك. Our sister says إياك. أين الحصر? Where is the restriction? إياك نسأل. You alone we ask. Where is the restriction? In this part. In this part of the sentence here. إياك نسأل. Where is the restriction? Our brother says وحدك. Close. سافرتم أنتم. Perhaps you guys travel. كنتم مشغولين. Maybe you guys are busy over the weekend. إياك نسأل. أين الحصر? Where's the restriction? لا بس يا إخوان. ما راجعتم. You didn't make my review. أين الحصر? Listen to my question يا إخوان. Where's the restriction? طيب. Our sister says, what about the yeah? All of you guys are close. Alhamdulillah. You're close. Not the alif, not the yeah, not the kaf. You're close. Ain al-hasr. My question is, Aina al-hasr. Where's the restriction? This is my question. لا بأس.
I think I must have that. Is it the iyaka being placed first instead of at the end of
Ahsanti, ahsanti. That's the answer, ya ikhwan. The restriction is in one thing. The fact that iyaka, taqdeemu iyaka ala nas'aluka. The fact that إياك is placed first. This is the restriction. The order of the sentence. What's the origin? The origin is nas'aluka. This is the origin. Nas'aluka. We ask you. Ain al-hasr. Where's the restriction here? Huh? The kaf? Ain al-hasr. Where's the hasr? No, in this sentence here, ya ikhwan. Can y'all see the screen?
No, I'm seeing no.
طيب, ain al-hasr. Where's the restriction here? Our sister says the kaf. Not the kaf. Nas'alu. Not nas'alu. Ain al-hasr. Where's the restriction, ya ikhwan?
Would it be the noon or we?
Not the noon. What is left? Y'all said that noon. Y'all said the lam. Y'all said the kaf. What's left? The alif. The alif. What's left? The sin. طيب, أين الحصر? Where's the restriction, يا إخوان? The answer is لا يوجد. There is none. There is no restriction, يا إخوان. In this sentence, I don't think y'all understanding a principle, يا إخوان. طيب. The principle is one principle, as our sister mentioned. It's not a word, it's not a letter, it's none of that. It's the order. It's the order of the sentence. If I say to you, ya ikhwan, ana aminu billah. Man yutarjum, who can translate? Ana aminu. One more time. جميلا. I believe in Allah. طيب, أين الحصر? Where's the restriction? Our brother says Ana. Close. أين الحصر? Where's the restriction? Our brother says, Aminu, believe. So y'all said, Ana, Aminu. Where's the hasar? Where's the restriction?
I don't think he has it.
Hey, Arsenti. As our sister says, ya ikhwan, La yujad. There is none. Just because I'm asking you something, ya ikhwan, doesn't mean that it's there. I want you to look at the sentence. The point is, there is none. There is no restriction here. It's a general sentence. There's no restriction. There's nothing restricting anything. I believe in Allah. طيب. The Jews can say, I believe in Allah. The Christians can say, I believe in Allah. طيب. A Muslim can say, I believe in Allah. Alhamdulillah. Where's the hasr? Where's the restriction? There is none. There is none. طيب. There is none. Now we're going to restrict it. الآن سنغير الترتيب. نغير الترتيب. All we're going to do is change the order. We're going to make it restrictive by doing one thing. Changing the order. That's it. Now we say, Billahi ana aminu. Completely different sentence now. Billahi ana aminu. A whole different sentence. Right? The verbatim translation will be the same. But you're going to, if you're strong in translation, you're not going to say, I believe in Allah. No. If you have some knowledge of the Arabic language, you're not going to say here, I believe in Allah. That's incorrect. But you're going to say what? Who can translate?
Allah, I believe.
Say it again.
Allah, I believe.
طيب. In Allah, I believe. On the surface, the meaning looks the same. On the surface. Someone that has some knowledge of English is going to say, no, there are two different meanings. I believe in Allah I believe. Someone that has some knowledge of English is going to say, no, they're not the same. In Arabic, ana aminu billah, billahi ana aminu. If someone has some knowledge of the Arabic language, he's going to say, no, they are not the same. They look like they're the same. But now we're restricting it. In Allah, I believe is different than I believe in Allah. In Arabic and in English. Allahu Akbar. What's the difference, ya ikhwan? The difference is one thing. في الأولى لا يوجد الحصر. في الثاني يوجد الحصر. In the first sentence, there's no restriction. أنا آمن بالله. I believe in Allah. No restriction. This does not mean you're Muslim. No. A Christian can say this. I believe in Allah. A Jew can say this. I believe in Allah. A Buddhist can say this. I believe in Allah. Someone upon the nation of Islam can say, I believe in Allah. Atheist can say, I believe in Allah. There's no restriction. This doesn't restrict anything. But if you change it and say, Billahi ana aminu. Now you're restricting your belief. The first one, your belief is general. I believe in Allah. The man can also believe that Isa is Allah. Also, the man can also believe Allah is Thalithu Thalath, 3 in 1. The man can also believe there's no restriction. But the second is restricted. The meaning changes drastically in the second. Now, the first, I believe in Allah. No restriction. The second, in Allah I believe. Restriction. In Allah I believe. Two different meanings, ya ikhwan. Two different meanings. The second, where is the hasr? Now this is our lesson today. Where is the restriction? Our sister answered. She said what? The structure. Going back to the principle of last week. The qa'idah, the principle. The structure is what? تقديم ما حقه تأخير يفيد الحصر. It's a tremendous point in Arabic. It's high level. Later on, years down the line, we'll study that inshallah. But just to bring it up, as we were studying Al-Fatiha, that's the only reason we bring it up. Because this principle is in Al-Fatiha. Right? So the principle is to put ma taqdeem wa ma haqqu ta'khir. To put what is usually last, you put it first. Shows restriction. Allahu Akbar. So now Allah billah is last. This is the origin. Now we put it first. Shows that I only believe in Allah. Now it's restricted. This is the whole lesson today, ikhwan. When the maf'ulun bi comes first, or in general, whatever is usually mentioned last, you put it first. You put it first. Then it shows hasar. It shows restriction. So when we say, where's the hasar? You're going to say in the tartib, in the order. Where? Iyaka is first. Taqdeemu iyaka. That's it. Not the letters, not the verb, not like that, ya ikhwan. The order. The order. That's it. So, iyaka nas'alu. Where's the hasar? The order. That iyaka is first. Iyaka nahdi. Where's the hasar? The tartib. Iyaka is first. That's it. In Al-Fatiha, Allah Ta'ala, He says, Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Iyaka na'budu. And then He says it again. Wa iyaka nasta'in. Same principle. Allah repeated it. Wa iyaka nasta'in. Same principle. He said the principle twice. If you are a good translator, you're not going to say, we worship you. No, that's not what Allah said. You're not going to say, we seek your help. No, that's not what Allah said. Allah said, Iyaka na'budu. We worship you alone. Or you can say, and you alone. Oh Allah. Because you're talking to Allah. This is the point. Where's the hasar? The order. The fact that you put the iyaka in front of the verb. This is the principle, ya ikhwan. Wallahu a'lam. And Allah knows best. Our brother, he says, Islam Nur. The principle is taqdeem ma yaqtadi ta'khir yufid al-hasr. MashaAllah, that's the principle. That's it. The order. Something is mentioned last, you put it first. You change the meaning just by doing that. That's a beauty, ya ikhwan. Allahu Akbar. Tfadal ya Sheikh.
So, like how you translate, could you say we worship or could you say that? Or
طيب, our brother says, what about if you were to say it again? You, we worship. And you, we seek aid. If you say that, you're saying something Allah didn't say. You, we worship. And you, we seek aid. Where's the restriction? And this is the difficult thing about translating, ikhwan. You don't have to translate verbatim. No. But you have to capture the meaning. The meaning has to be there. You have to capture the meaning. You can miss some words here or there. That's fine. But you can't miss the meaning. That's why translating is so difficult. Because you're coming from one language to another language, but you have to keep the meaning. No. طيب. The last one, يا إخوان. إياك نرشد. نرشد. نرشدك وحدك. Same thing. We just repeated it over and over and over. It's showing restriction. So you're going to add wahdaka. Or something that has that meaning. So it says, Iyaka nur shidu. No. Nur shidu. What's the meaning? Nur shiduka wahdaka. No. This should be a noon. Nur shiduka wahdaka. We are guiding you wahdaka, and you alone. You're going to add alone because of the structure in the Arabic. You have to capture the meaning. طيب نواصل. Let's continue يا إخوان. التدريب الثاني. Second exercise. ما شاء الله. أنا أحب هذا الكتاب يا إخوان. أو هذه الكتب. هذه الكتب جميلة جدا. These books are very beautiful يا إخوان. Not that there aren't other beautiful books. Sometimes the brothers and sisters misunderstand. When you praise something, they think, well, you're not praising other than that. That's not the case. It's not always the opposite. This is something at our city in Philadelphia we are tested with. If you don't go to my masjid, then you're against my masjid. No, ya akhi, that doesn't mean that. You don't sit in my class, then you're against my class. No, it doesn't mean that. You don't listen to my sheikh, that means you're against my sheikh. No, that does not mean that. You don't read this book, that means you're against this book. No, that's not English. And it's definitely not Islam, ya ikhwan. If you praise, one of the times we mentioned, Sheikh Fawzan, mashallah, is from the major scholars. One brother, why did you say that? That's the truth. What are you trying to imply? That he's the only sheikh? What do you, your mind is playing a game with you. Just because you praise something doesn't mean that you're dispraising someone else. So someone says, I like this book. Alhamdulillah. Let's allow for him or her to like that book. It doesn't mean they dislike another book. No. And this is why the Arabic language, wallahi, ikhwan, is so important. Because most of our issues that we're arguing about, the reason we're arguing about them is because we don't study Arabic. I guarantee you, if we study Arabic more, we will argue less. I guarantee you. The fact that we argue about every single thing shows that what? We're not studying the way we think we are. We're not seeking knowledge the way we think. In our minds, we're seeking knowledge. But in reality, we're not seeking nothing. The proof to that is how much and how often and how frequent nujadilu, that we argue. If we study more of the Arabic language, our questions will be better. Our understanding will be more vast. And even if somebody does not agree with you, as long as it's allowed for y'all to differ in this aspect, it's never going to harm you. Never. One brother, I don't listen to Sheikh Fawzan. Tayyib. Alhamdulillah. It's not an issue. You think the Sheikh cares you don't read his books? No. You think you're diminishing his status? No. For whatever reason, you don't listen to or write or read his books? Alhamdulillah. It's not obligatory that you read his books. One sister, I don't read Sheikh Al-Albani's books. Tayyib. You're going to miss a lot of benefit. No problem. No problem. She said, that's all you got to say? That's it. That's your preference. You don't read his books. I read his books. Alhamdulillah. So the benefit that's in his books, you're not going to get. You don't read them. It's not obligatory that you read them. That's your personal preference. You're entitled to it. You're not going to diminish the status of the sheikh. Alhamdulillah. Most of our issues, wallahi ikhwan, are personal issues. And it's sad, the cure, the remedy is the Quran and Sunnah. It's right in front of us. Has been in front of us for 1,000 years. But we reject the Quran and Sunnah. Most of us only go back to the Quran and Sunnah when we're looking for an answer. And that's incorrect, ikhwan. The Quran is a Sunnah, and the Quran and the Sunnah is guidance. We should read it for guidance. Not to win an argument. Or no. Your wife is getting on your nerves, so you want to humble her. Let me find the verse where Allah Ta'ala said. Not like that. It's a book of guidance. Not a book to win an argument. No. Read it. Study it. Seek guidance by way of it. There's a big difference, ikhwan. And it's like we don't understand that issue. So for 20 years, and it's sad to say, in our city, you have some people individually making tadarruj. They're growing in their knowledge. But as a ummah, as a group, we're still on the same level. We're still studying the same books over and over and over and over. How are we ever going to make tadarruj? How? And this is not a criticism to any of those tremendous books. But some of them, you have already got all the benefit of the book. That book has a purpose. You got that purpose. Now you have to move on and study the next book and rehearse it and rehearse it and rehearse it. Yes, you can maximize all the benefit of it. So you have to move on and you get higher. Tadarrujan wa tadarrujan. You go higher and higher and higher. May Allah make it easy, ikhwan, and make us all true students of knowledge. طيب قال النموذج نعبد إياك. Now we're going to do the opposite. Let's see who's really paying attention. طيب. So now the verb نسأل. So you're going to make it restrictive. Each one of you is going to take a verb and we're going to make it restrictive. So the verb is nas'alu. Number one, nas'alu. So you have to make it restrictive. You're going to do the same thing we were just doing. Restricted. So the verb is nas'alu. I'm asking you, or I ask you. Make it restrictive. Who's first? Abu Zubayr, tfadal. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Iyaka nas'alu. That's it. Make it restrictive. Put the maf'ulun bi in the front. Iyaka nas'alu. Perfect. Number two, nasta'inu. Who's turn? Sheikh Nakir, tfadal. Make it restrictive. جميلا. إياك where's my cap? إياك نستعين. جميلا. Put the مفعول به in the front. That's it. Who's turn? Sakina, الثالثة, number three. ندعو. جميلا جميلا. أحسنتم يا إخوان. Number four, نرجو. We hope. Huh?
Mama ana nad'u.
Jamilan. Our sister, she says, what's the meaning of nad'u? Nad'u is from the verb da'a. Da'a. Da'a means to invoke, to make dua. Yad'u, to call upon, to call to. Yad'u, to call, to supplicate. Allah Ta'ala, He says, Ud'u ila sabili rabbika bil hikmati wal maw'idhati al hasana wajadilhum billati ahsan inna rabbaka huwa a'lamu biman dalla an sabilihi wa huwa a'lamu bil muhtadin. Surah Nahl. Allah Ta'ala says, call them, O Muhammad, to the path of your Lord, using wisdom and a good admonition, and argue with those who deserve for you to argue with them in a manner that is best. For verily your Lord knows best those who deviated from his path, and he knows best those who are rightly guided. Surah 2 An-Nahl. Allah. طيب. Narju. Narju means we hope. Question number 2. Lil Aqidah. This is a question of Aqidah. لا تستعجلوا. Don't rush. Don't rush. It is allowed, or is it allowed to say هل طيب هل أنت مؤمن? Is it allowed to ask someone, listen to the question, هل أنت مؤمن? You say to someone, are you a believer? And they say نعم إن شاء الله. Is this allowed? The person asks another person, are you a believer? And he says, yes, insha'Allah. Is it allowed to say insha'Allah here? He says, yes, I'm a believer, insha'Allah. Is that allowed?
I would say no.
Our sister says no.
It's not that. You're supposed to usually you say, like, I will become a believer. But not to say, yes, I am. You already are the believer. Allah.
Okay. Not bad. Our sister says no. In her opinion, it's not allowed to say that. طيب. أنتم موافقون? All of you agree? And then now, madhab wahidun. We have one madhab tonight. The Muslims are together. One opinion.
I say no.
Our brother says no also. Madhabun wahidun. One madhab. طيب. الصحيح أنه يجوز. The correct opinion is that it is allowed to say that. Many of the ulama of the Salaf, they would say it is allowed to say al-istithna. It's allowed to say, do you believe in Allah? And they say, I believe in Allah, inshallah. Or, yes, inshallah. And they say because, just because they say they're believers, only Allah really knows. So they say it is allowed, according to many of the great Imams of the Salaf, Imam Ahmad, Sa'id ibn Mansur, many of them, ya ikhwan, Mujahid, that this is something that is allowed. Allahu Akbar. طيب. Some of them used to say, Na'am arju. They would say, sometimes a person would say, do you believe in Allah? And a person would say, Na'am arju. Yes, I hope. Like that. This is called al-istithna. Some scholars say, yes, this is allowed. From them, Ibn Taymiyyah, Ibn Qayyim, many of the great Imams of the past, this was their understanding, that it is allowed to say, Insha'Allah, arju. Now, I hope, if Allah wills, that you can say that. Alhamdulillah. طيب, the word raja means to hope. Raja. Yarju means to hope. A new verb, ya ikhwan. Raja means to hope. 25 times. To hope. It's allowed to say inshallah. It's not allowed to say inshallah when you're making dua. That's different. It's not allowed to say, oh Allah, if you will, forgive me. No. Ask Allah to forgive you. Don't say inshallah regarding dua. But affirming something, I believe in Allah, inshallah. That's allowed. I believe in Allah, I hope. That's allowed. That's called al-istithna in the science of aqidah. Wallahu alam. And Allah knows. طيب, let's continue يا إخوان. نرجو. Whose turn? تفضل يا أبا زبير.
طيب. إياك نرجو.
ما شاء الله. إياك نرجو. ما شاء الله. جميلا. نسمع. سكينة تفضلي.
إياك نسمع.
جميلا جميلا. أحسنتم. So all of you get the drill now, alhamdulillah. One of the easiest ways to restrict something is just by changing the order. Changing the order. Alright, so this drill we almost just did, alhamdulillah. Alright, a new verb. Dalla. Dalla. Dalla means to point to. Can also mean to guide. To instruct. To point to. Dalla. Dalla. عفوا شبيه فتحة. ضل يدل. To point. You say هذا الحديث يدل. This hadith points to. To point. To guide. دل. You say هذه الآية تدل على أن الصلاة واجبة. You say this verse, يا إخوان, shows that the prayer is obligatory. دل يدل 25 times. It says our brother wants to be in our video. You could be in our video, ya Sheikh. Who's that? طيب. Let's continue يا إخوان. طيب. تدريب الثالث. استمع وردد. Listen and repeat. طيب. كلكم تأخذون أو كلكم يأخذ جملة قراءة وترجمة. So all of you is going to read or are going to read a sentence and then translate the sentence. تفضل يا أبا زبير. الأولى number 1.
الله مالك يوم الدين.
جميلا. ترجم. Translate.
Allah is the owner of the day of resurrection.
جميلا. أحسنت. الثانية. شيخ نكي تفضل. اقرأ وترجم. Read and translate. يومي. ما شاء الله. قيامة. Give me a better translation of قيامة. أحسنت. أحسنت. جميلا. أحسنتم. عالية. شيخ خالد. جميلا. موجودون أو موجودان. طيب. أين المضاف؟ أين المضاف إليه في الأولى? Where's the mudaf? Where's the mudaf ilay in the first sentence?
يوم الدين.
طيب. يوم الدين. Where's the mudaf?
يوم.
طيب. Our brother, he says, our sentence is Allahu Maliku Yawmi Ad-Din. Let's add our vowels. طيب, this is a sidebar يا إخوان. Small benefit. Allahu Maliku Yawmi Ad-Din. طيب, our brother says Yawm. طيب, Yawm is a mudaf. That's correct. طيب, where's the mudaf ilayh? طيب, Ad-Din is the mudaf ilayh. That's correct. ألف ولام. الدين المضاف إليه المضاف إليه. طيب, that's correct also. Are there any other mudaf? Are there any other mudaf إليه? طيب, our sister says Malik. What is Malik? ما شاء الله, جميلا. المضاف. طيب, any other مضاف إليه? Allahu. Not Allahu, but close. Hey, Yawm. Yawm is two things. So here, Maliku is a mudaf. And then Yawm is mudaf ilayh. طيب. So let's start from the beginning, إخوان. طيب. The first mudaf is Malik. Malik is al-mudaf. طيب. The first mudaf ilayh is Yawm. Al-mudaf ilayh. طيب. You're not done. طيب. Then there's another mudaf. Yawm. Yawm is two things here. Yawm is also al-mudaf. And ad-din is the second mudaf ilay. No. So this sentence has two mudaf ilay. Allahu Akbar. That's a benefit, ikhwan. So Malik is the mudaf. Yawm is mudaf ilay. Yawm is mudaf. Ad-din mudaf ilay. Allahu alam. And Allah knows best. Our sister, she says, sorry I'm late. Oh, لا بأس. لا بأس. طيب نواصل. Let's continue يا إخوان. عالية اقرأ يا ثالثة. Number 3. اقرأ وترجمي. Read and translate.
I can't see your whiteboard. It just shows attendees.
What about now?
أنا مالك السيارة.
ترجمي. Translate.
I am the owner of the car.
طيب, أحسنتي. طيب, ملكة means to possess. ملكة means to possess, from its many meanings. To possess, to own something. Is it allowed to own something? Is something really yours in Islam? To own something. Is it allowed? Huh?
That we own that thing by the permission of Allah.
But is it allowed to own something?
Yes.
The answer is yes. Just because you own something, can you govern this thing any way you wish?
No.
The answer is no. You can own something in Islam. You can own something. Something can be your car, like the sentence. Our sister says, Ana maliku as-sayyara. طيب, anyone that has a car can say this. Ana maliku as-sayyara. طيب. I'm the owner of the car. The person has a car. He has the car. It's his car. Religiously. That's why one of the beauties of Islam. Allahu Akbar. You own the thing. Yes, it's yours. Alhamdulillah. Can you do whatever you want with it? However you want, whenever you want, the way you want? The answer is no.
No.
You're governed always by the Quran and Sunnah. In your speech, you can't say whatever you want as a Muslim, meaning, and not be held accountable. You can't wear whatever you want as a Muslim, meaning, and not be held accountable. You can do whatever you want. That's not the point. And not be held accountable, meaning, are you right or wrong? You can do whatever you want. Some people say, that's my son. I can do what I want with my son. The Muslim says, no, you can't. This is my car. I can drive my car anywhere I want. The Muslim says, no, you can't. This is my house. I can do whatever I want in my house, or whatever I want to my house. The Muslim says, no, you can't. You're always governed by the Quran and Sunnah. And this is something that we shouldn't be shy. Some Muslims say, you guys don't have freedom. The Muslim says, you are right. Yes, we are governed in our actions, in our speech, in our gestures, in what we possess, what we don't possess, by the Quran and Sunnah. And this is a blessing. It's not something to be shy over. This is something to have some pride, some allowed pride, to be happy about, that you're always governed, we're always governed by the Quran and Sunnah. So a meaning of Maliku, we're going to write, is Sahibu. Maliku or Malikun, I want you to write, means Sahibun, the possessor, the owner of something. You can own something. Something can be yours. I brought the book. It's my book. Can I do what I want with the book? No. You're governed with this book by the Quran and Sunnah. Allahu Akbar. So Malikun means Sahibun, possessor or owner of. You can also add the word Rabb. Rabb. Rabb means owner from his many meanings. MashaAllah. Rabbun means possessor of. From the meanings of Rabb is owner of, possessor of. You can call someone's house and say, Aina Maliku al-Bayt. You can say, Aina Sahibu al-Bayt. Aina Rabbu al-Bayt. All that has the same meaning. Where is the owner of the house? Where is the one who runs the house? Where is the Rabbu Bayt? That's allowed in the Arabic language. You can say that. طيب, whose turn? الرابعة, number 4. من لم يقرأ, who did not read يا إخوان? تفضل. ما شاء الله.
You are the owner of where you live.
جميلا, أحسنتي. You are the owner of where you live, where you reside. You are the owner of that. No, أحسنتي. الخامسة, number 5. تفضل. جميلا. ترجم, translate.
Allah, the owner of the world.
MashaAllah. طيب, you can say that. طيب. Everything that exists, or all creation, mankind and jinn, and other than them. You can say all of that. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. طيب, for homework يا إخوان, عندنا با. طيب, أكمل كما في النموذج, كما في النموذج, complete as it comes in the example. النموذج, example. السيارة, مالك السيارة. So now we're going to bring the مضاف إليه. You're going to give us a word. You can bring either مالك or صاحب أو رب. You can bring 3. You can expand your vocabulary. You don't have to do the same thing over and over. You can say Maliku, or you can say Sahibu, or you can also say Rabbu. That's up to you. You're going to complete the sentence. Inshallah. You can say Maliku, Sahibu, or Rabbu. It's up to you. They all mean owner of. Rabb has many other meanings. It can also be the nurturer, the creator, the sustainer. But here, it means possessor or owner of. So you're going to read the sentence, write the sentence, and fill in the blank with either Maliku, or Sahibu, or Rabbu. And then I want you to translate the sentence also. One small drill. 5 sentences. 7 sentences. And then we'll continue inshallah ta'ala in the next lesson. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. طيب نكتفي بهذا. We'll stop there يا إخوان. وسبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. فنصبت فمن الله ونأخطأت فمن نفسي. Anything we said that's correct is from Allah. Anything that we said that's incorrect is from ourselves. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. تفضل.
Is this the second class, or did you have 3 already? I listened to the first one. Was there another one before that one?
I think this is, as far as the book, I think Saturday we began. I think this is class number 3 today. Number 4? Our brother says number 4. As far as the tafsir book, we just began. So this is class number 4 on the tafsir book.
I gotta go back and look at 2 more.
No.
Because I only watched 1 the other day. I thought it was just that one and this one.
Our brother's asking, is the audio skipping? For our watchers on the YouTube, for some reason the live on YouTube skips. And then once I upload it after the class is over, then it should be fine. But while it's live, for whatever reason I haven't figured out yet, Alia, she says, because maybe we're running a lot of the streaming from the same connection, so maybe that slows it down. At any rate, for whatever reason, why it's live, not on the YouTube, not on the Facebook, but not on the free conference, but on the YouTube, it skips. So in the live version on the YouTube, for some reason, it does skip. But once the class is done, when I re-upload it, it should be fine. So in the live class, it does skip slightly. So we have to figure that out, inshallah. Maybe try to increase our strength of our connectivity. Wallahu a'lam. Our brother, he says, yes, I can see the screen. Our sister says, Sis Zakia, the connection is very bad. On the YouTube, for some reason, it is skippy and chippy. So once the class is done, I reload the recording, and then it's no longer live. And may Allah bless you all. So for our YouTubers, be patient until we upload the live, the recording, and then it should be without any skippage. And may Allah bless you all. So this is class number 4, Sheikh, inshallah. So you have 2 more to catch up on. May Allah bless you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam.